My name's Robert, and I'm coming to you from Stuttgart, Germany to talk about plastics. Everyone should know the extent that plastics play in our everyday lives. I mean, they're everywhere, from cell phones and face masks to bottles, bags, and packaging. Lots and lots of packaging. But just in case you're like I was and haven't been paying as close attention as you probably should be, we're going to take a closer look at plastics, their role in our lives, and in the environment.
Plastics are a relatively new substance. The first breakthrough came in 1869 when John Wesley Hyatt invented the first synthetic polymer. He was reportedly inspired by a New York firm that was searching for anyone that could provide a substitute for ivory. The big breakthrough, though, came in 1906 when Leo Baekeland discovered the first fully synthetic plastic. But it wasn't until World War II that things really took off. The use of plastics became vital to the war effort, and their production increased rapidly and hasn't slowed down since. In fact, it is estimated that 8,300 metric tons of virgin plastic, a plastic that is not produced from recycled material, has been produced to date. As of 2015, approximately 6,300 metric tons of plastic waste has been generated. At this point, you're probably thinking the same thing I was thinking. Thank God for recycling, because that's a lot of waste. Well, unfortunately, I will be bursting that happy feel-good bubble, because the truth is, of all that waste, only about 9% has been recycled. Well, what happens to the rest? Well, if you didn't like that last bit, you're not going to like this. Because of the rest, 12% has been incinerated, and the remaining 79% has made its way to landfills and the natural environment. It is estimated that every year 8 million tons of plastic end up in the ocean. That is the equivalent of a full garbage truck dumped right in the ocean every minute. And right now, there are 5 gyres: the North Atlantic Gyre, South Atlantic Gyre, North Pacific Gyre, South Pacific Gyre, and Indian Ocean Gyre, all accumulating this plastic waste. The most well-known, the North Pacific Gyre, commonly referred to as the North Pacific Garbage Patch, has an estimated surface area of 1.6 million square kilometers, which is roughly twice the size of Texas. Plastic in the ocean is expected to triple between 2015 and 2025. That is only 3.5 years away. And in a business-as-usual scenario, the ocean is expected to contain 1 ton of plastic for every 3 tons of fish by 2025. And by 2050, more plastic than fish by weight.
Look, now I know that can be a lot to handle in a short period of time, but it's important that you know that there are solutions. And for some of those possible solutions, I'm going to hand it off to my friend Jordan in Wisconsin.
Hi, my name is Jordan, and I'm coming to you from Bird Falls, Wisconsin. Like Robert said, all that information can be a lot, so what can we do? First, it's important not to discourage yourself from recycling. Yes, only about 9% of plastic waste that has been produced has been recycled, but that's still 9% not going into the environment. So keep recycling. If there's no curbside recycling program near you, reach out to your local waste management or city administration to discover what your options are. Second, be aware of what you are purchasing. If you don't believe us, we have a challenge for you. The next time that you go to the grocery store, try to get everything on your list, but only if it doesn't contain plastic packaging. Make note to yourself every time you are unable to do this. We know what the outcome is going to be, but it still may surprise you. Third, stop single-use plastics as much as possible. Just say no and refuse these shopping bags, produce bags, plastic utensils, plastic straws, and lids. There are many convenient alternatives in many cases, such as metal straws and utensils, reusable bottles, or reusable produce and shopping bags. In fact, you can even store your reusable utensils and straw in your reusable bottle and keep your reusable bags in your car for convenience. Fourth, we can advocate. We can talk to our friends, our family, and our peers about the negative effects that plastics, especially single-use plastics, have on our environment. We can talk of all the reusable options mentioned above. In fact, as mentioned above, simply refusing the use of plastics or using your own reusable options in plain view is avocation and protest. Fifth, grow some of your own produce. If you are like me and love spinach, you may notice it's difficult to purchase spinach that does not come in some form of plastic container. The good news is that it is simple to grow. In fact, many types of greens and other vegetables are simple to grow in a small garden or patio hydroponic system that you put together with reclaimed plastics that extend their life cycle. Just ensure that you are using food-grade plastics. And if you don't have a green thumb, support your local farmers market. Finally, lobby the government and corporations. We must influence the source of the problem, as simple cleanup is not an option at this point. The amount of plastic waste input is greater than any possible means of removal that can be mobilized at this time. Corporations need to hear the demand signal loud and clear that we do not want virgin plastics. We have to let them know that if they intend to keep producing plastic packaging, they need to invest in a circular plastic economy or their goods won't be purchased as they once were. Which brings us to the government. It is the responsibility of government to represent the best interests of their constituents, not a handful of wealthy constituents, but the entirety of the constituency that may not have the money to lobby individually, but has the voice to speak collectively. So at the macro management level, the government is responsible for establishing the regulation that would influence corporate innovation and structuring to support a more sustainable use of plastics. Examples of this would be incentive for meeting innovation benchmarks, tax breaks for investments in recycling that strive towards a viable circular plastic economy, setting and meeting sustainability benchmarks, or putting in place extended producer responsibility measures if necessary. The options are endless, and it's important to note that they are not all negative. So we come to you today simply to ask you if you would like to help. Thank you for your time.